our next presenter is back to join us again. Is our automation coach, Sergii Kirik. He's an expert in handling workflows, and he's an expert in low-code integrations with PortaOne. And in his 15 years with the company, I know him for 10 years. I'm 10 years with the company. Sergei has held a lot of different positions, and right now he is our Boomi Integration engineer. Hi, Sergei. How are you? Great to see you. Stage is yours. You have very nice shirt. You have very nice shirt.
I just mentioned Svetlana, and you have that national Ukrainian dress called Vyshyvanka. I thought maybe it's a dress code today.
True.
Okay, let me start share my screen. Вітаю. My name is Sergei. I'm a workflows architect at PortaOne. This architect title implies that I should be drawing fancy architecture diagrams. Well, I'm doing this, but I'm also building the actual workflows, assuring their quality and delivering the same to production. Last year, I delivered really various things one can do with PortaOne Workflows, powered by Boomi. I selected just 3 stories for us to walk through. These are 5G Open API service for MVNE in South Africa that we just mentioned with Klaus and Owen. Then eSIM activation workflow for MVNO in the United States, and SAP Business One synchronization for yet another of our customers in South Africa. So let's start with 5G Open API service. Our initial requirement was to integrate that PCRF with PortaBilling online charging system in 4G network using diameter protocol. During design discovery, we realized that and found out that actually in 5G networks, they evolved and they're replacing this interface with Open API. And since this is based on JSON, we thought that it could be a good fit for Boomi because Boomi natively supports API management. But the challenge was to achieve a really low latency API response. The question is, can a no-code platform be fast enough? Well, we built a proof of concept and performed a series of performance tests to prove it can. Boomi natively supports on-premise deployment, and that allowed us to place an API runtime next to core network elements, so we could achieve as low network latency as possible. We also used a native connection towards PortaBilling database, so we could balance between database, SQL calls, and normal API to meet this latency requirement. We also saved a day by using Boomi Open API import wizard because it spent a minute and created API structure and components for us. So basically, you can implement APIs using no-code platform like Boomi. Eventually, this 5G Open API service is running on a 4G network in South Africa, which means the future is already there. A time machine capability of Boomi. Okay, the next story I wanted to share is about eSIM activation workflow. This is where we had to integrate 6 different cloud applications using conversion between various JSON and XML APIs. So we used a JSON and XML import wizard in Boomi to upload these payloads as a components for further referencing them. For example, in mapping tool, this is a powerful tool where you can use drag and drop to to convert between JSON and XML and backwards. We also didn't require any coding to connect to those cloud applications. We could really use a generic HTTP client in Boomi for that. You can imagine quite a complex workflow. End user places an order in onboarding portal, eSIM. And Boomi catches that order for fulfillment. It actually finds the available eSIM in PortaBilling inventory. Then it assigns this eSIM to the customer, activates that SIM card in mobile network, and on successful activation, it also notifies end user with a welcome SMS, as well as fancy email with QR code to scan and finally activate their phone with their eSIM service. You can imagine this complex flow is implemented without any coding in Boomi. Last but not the least, SAP Business One synchronization. We had to replicate customer master, financial transactions, and IoT inventory pieces, essentially SIM cards, from SAP ERP towards PortaBilling. And actually, this story is published on our official website, and the link is available on one of the walls here in the party space. You can learn more details here. But here, I just want to focus on the challenge we had. So, customer required a high availability and fault tolerance from this integration solution. Luckily, Boomi supports natively a private cloud, essentially multiple nodes with automatic failover between them. So this is for high availability. We also designed our workflows using a self-healing pattern so that processing is automatically recovered after a short-term outage. And should some persistent error happen, no worries. Boomi notifies subscribers by email and also logs that in process reporting. The process reporting is a really cool interface, web interface in Boomi where one can browse and analyze execution logs. You can even rerun a failed execution, of course, after the code is eliminated. Right, so this drives the fault tolerance requirement. So let's talk about common takeaways from this story. They all were relatively fast to deliver, especially adjustments. For example, that SAP story. We spent probably 2 months on calendar to learn requirements, design solution, build it, verify, deliver to prod. But I think with traditional approach, it could take half year, just easily. And adjustments are super fast. For example, you can learn change request on Monday, deliver this change on staging on Tuesday, and by Friday have it verified and delivered to production. While building these solutions, we also mentioned that we really reuse a lot of existing components from the other projects. And we thought it could be a good idea to introduce a library of these reusable bricks so our customer can build workflows. And this is already happening. Like Klaus mentioned, one of our customers is already building or developing the internal expertise to build workflows. And they already reuse our components to build their Cloud PBX provisioning workflow. So PortaOne architects a solution. Oftentimes we build it. But like I said, you can also build it on your own, right? Anyway, the integration solution in Boomi is like a house. Once built, you own it, which means you decorate it, you live it, you maintain it. You can even rebuild it if you will, because you 100% own it. Thank you very much for being with me. Was happy to present today. I'll be looking forward to meet you in the party space.